Mobile T here with JoeAnybody.com. We are under the Portland Indie Media umbrella. I am here today on this YouTube video to help, well, I shouldn't say answer a question that's been pondered about Occupy movement, but maybe help some people out who do not know much about the Occupy movement, who are just curious to kind of get an idea about what was going on at these movements and what is continuing to go on, and how we are continuing to grow as a movement. I myself work alongside Joe Anybody here in Portland. We are working with the Occupy Portland movement, out there trying to give a voice to the voiceless, as we've been trying to do for some time. In fact, Joe Anybody's been doing it for quite some time, going on a decade here. He's soon to have a celebration for that. Regardless, people want to know what is Occupy Portland. What kind of demands or needs need to be met by organizers for them to make the changes they'd like to see in society, and especially here in America. And the fact is, there's all kinds of issues that arise from all types of people, and that's what it's about. A bunch of people get together, which we call a General Assembly, people who are, and essentially down with the movement, or who are looking to get their voices heard, become part of the movement, and get some kind of change extracted out of the government, because it seems to be that we the people don't get the change that we want, like we used to be able to do. Now that our political structure is based on money and CEOs and lobbyists and such, and that make changes to government, and kind of encourage them to make choices that benefit them and their corporations, rather than the people as a whole. So that's one of the points of the Occupy movement. Everybody has a voice, everybody speaks out, everybody can get on the microphone and speak to the public, as well as people who aren't present. It is now being streamed on live stream at most events, most General Assemblies, and most Occupy movements have several members. At the lowest numbers of 2 or 3 people at least, who are running live stream constantly. And local media, as they weren't so beneficial before, are actually a little beneficial in helping get the word out, as many people who have spoken in public have had the corporate media covering. And so, even more of a chance for you, Joe Citizen, or Joe Anybody, to have a chance to get your voice heard also. And that's what it's about. Everybody has an opinion, and those who have certain talents and certain opinions that kind of fit a particular parameter or committee within the Occupy movement, as there are several committees. Say you have a talent of you're artistic. Well, there is a committee that deals with that. There's a committee for safety and sanitation, ex-military, ex-policemen, ex-security officers, or anybody who would like to get into the tactical side of it. There's medical facilities where they are in need of doctors and volunteer doctors, dentists, and nurses, which we have already had some who have volunteered here at Occupy Portland, at our Occupy camp. And although eviction has occurred, there is still much activity with Occupy Portland and through occupyportland.org, and that's definitely the place to go, by the way, if you do like to find out some information about the largest movement in the nation, or what formerly was the largest movement. So these are some things to understand about Occupy. If you're new to this, just imagine practically civilization starting over, and society starting over, as the same structures and facilitation and types of General Assemblies and types of lawmaking bodies that existed in the beginning of our country, or that our founding fathers enacted and worked in groups of assemblies to achieve the results that they got. That's what we're doing, but we're doing it on a private basis. There's a big difference with Occupy movement. Most political structures allow for anything above a 50% agreement, whether in Congress or the Senate or law, that is kind of accepted through democracy. as a consensus. We, on the other hand, we need over a 90% consensus. So if, we have 1,000 people, we need over 900 of those people that are attending the general meeting, General Assembly meeting, to agree on a certain proposal. If not, the proposal is dumped, gone, nothing else said. So, essentially, it's a better way of making decisions. It's totally democratic. And I think, there's also an element to the whole Occupy encampment thing that is kind of, everybody said that these other cities are copying New York, copying Wall Street. Well, the idea of the encampment in Wall Street was there for a reason. That was to kind of occupy the actual physical street of Wall Street, and kind of shut down flow of, corporate thugs out there, pretty much, that have been essentially taken from us all for the longest time. And so that's what they can do physically as human beings if their voices aren't being heard and change isn't being made. So those people have done that. They have also been evicted, but Occupy Wall Street started it all, and that's definitely with the model that Portland came up with. And even so, we went further to with hand signs and several other even sign language interpreters and different things like this to get the message across that other Occupy movements are using as a model for their encampments and their gatherings and meetings and marches and such. And so it's been a pretty interesting movement, but just there's a few different elements to it that are very important in understanding what's going on with it and where we hope to go with this. And so, we're hoping that, as many cities join up and we all kind of work in unison, that we will finally have more influence over our government than the corporations have. And that is when we, the people, will regain our power and our strength as a society and, feel as though we are a democracy again. I thank you for listening. This is Mobile T, JoeAnybody.com, and until I see you again, or until you hear from me again, I hope all is well, and I hope you stand up for your rights and you express your concern. Give yourself a voice. JoeAnybody.com. Thank you.